everyone, I'm doing a quick number series, I guess, and this one is for number 3, and it's 3 tips for mental health. And I mean that in an emphasis on health. These 3 things are things that can make a really big difference in your overall mental health, whether you feel like you're struggling with mental health or whether you're just like, I want to be the best person I can be, the best health I can be in mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, all the things, and you want some tips on that. I have 3 for you today. Okay, number 1 is healthy disciplines. I know, discipline sounds like a word that, like, I don't know, makes people uncomfortable because it sounds like you're required to do a lot, or it's used in the term of parenting and kids to discipline your kids, and it has just like a little bit of a feeling to it, right? But I think that discipline actually is a really awesome thing. Discipline in the sense of a practice, right? It's a really awesome thing to help you keep yourself on track. And I also think it's okay to be kind of easygoing and flexible about it. I'm not talking about like a strict, regimented, militant type schedule or discipline, but I am talking about consistency in your discipline. So to maintain a state of being mentally healthy overall, I think that involves some discipline, whether that be discipline in your health, your physical health, your exercise, discipline in your relationships, meaning who you let into your life and who do you interact with on a regular basis. That's a discipline, really. There's all sorts of things to be disciplined about. Disciplined about what are your habits or your hobbies. Are they ones that are good for you, that feed into your life in a good way, or not so much, right? It's all a discipline if you think about it. So number 1 is have healthy disciplines. And if the ones that you have aren't so healthy, switch them up. Or if you just kind of don't have very many, then add a few healthy disciplines, like I already mentioned about taking care of body health, relationships, things like that. Number 2, sleep. I know, another hard one. I saw this meme the other day of I don't even remember what it looked like, but it was something like me Googling how to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And it was something along those lines, and it was kind of funny because it's true, right? If you're struggling with sleep, sometimes it's difficulty falling asleep or difficulty staying asleep, and you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, how can I sleep better? And my guess is this one might be a little frustrating because I know sometimes this is one of those things where people are like, I've tried everything, you know? And I get it, I understand that, but I do believe that getting good sleep without medication, maybe sometimes you need a little bit, that's a talk to your doctor type thing, but I do believe that true sleep is possible, and sometimes the way you get at it is actually related to number 1, which is a discipline, meaning you might have to have a little bit more of a routine, like shutting off TV, phone, things like that early on, a discipline of maybe reading to help slow your brain down. I have a different video on sleep. So it might be something like that, but my point is to maintain good emotional health and mental health, sleep is absolutely necessary. It's just not an option. And there are many books out there about sleep and about why it's so important and what happens in our brain and our bodies when we sleep. It's so restorative to us. It really does play a huge role in our emotions and hormones and things like that to help keep us regulated and balanced and all that. So it's not a negotiable if you want to keep a place of healthy mental stability, right? It's just non-negotiable. So if you're struggling with it, I have a couple books down below that you can click the link and check them out to learn more about sleep and how to get those hours, because really there is enough evidence and research to say we really do need 8 hours. And I know sometimes that's a lot hard for a lot of adults with schedules and even just not your schedule, but struggling to sleep, but we really do need those hours. Last tip, I know this is a tricky one too in our day and age, but I really believe this so strongly that to maintain a good mental health place, you might need to reduce social media intake, or maybe it's not reduce, maybe it's just a boundaries thing. Like Again, I'm not saying cut it off. I'm not saying you can't have it. It's not the devil necessarily, but it's something that can cause a lot of harm, and it can be really tricky. So maybe it's just a matter of reducing time on it overall, or maybe it's boundaries of who you follow, what accounts you follow. Maybe it's boundaries of how often you're on it. Maybe it's just a quick break or something. I don't know. There's lots of different ways to handle that as well. But I really do think that social media can have big negative impacts on mental health for a lot of people, and in a subtle way. It's not something that if you're struggling with anxiety, depression, a relationship thing, whatever it is, you're not gonna at first think, man, this must be because of Instagram, right? It's not the thing that's going to pop into your mind, but it's a subtle thing, which is why I have it on this list, because I think it is still a very, very powerful thing that impacts mental health in a lot of ways for a lot of people. There's also, because social media is a newer thing in general, the studies are still rolling out, but even the recent studies they've been able to do, there is huge evidence to show declines in mental health, especially for teenagers and young people, but I think adults too, that being on social media maybe too much, or again, what you're following, can really impact mental health, right? It impacts the way that you view yourself maybe, or the way that you're viewing others, things like that. And also, I just want to throw out there, the overall time that it's easy to spend on social media can potentially suck the life out of you, you know? It can seem mindless and harmless, and maybe a lot of times it is, but it does take away from some good things that would be adding to good mental health, like I am talking about. So again, I know it's not really a popular suggestion, but I think it's probably a good one if you can help yourself get there. So thanks for watching, and follow up with number 4.